It makes you feel guilty, it makes you hate your body, but you can't stop doing it. This is something almost every woman does, and it's simply comparing your body to somebody else's, whether that's a stranger walking down the street, your best friend, or someone on social media. But you need to stop doing this as soon as possible so that it can stop making your body image worse right now and in the future. Today we're going to dig into the most common yet sneaky way that women body check and hurt their own body image and body confidence, and that's comparison. This is a subject that I've worked countless clients through as a body image coach, but it's not something that has to be complicated or difficult to stop when you have the right tools. I'm going to tell you why you compare yourself to other people, help you understand where this is coming from, and tell you how to stop doing it as soon as possible. Because awareness that you're comparing yourself to somebody else is not as strong as action to stop doing it. Now, if you struggle with comparing yourself to other people, I can guarantee that you do many of these things. You compare yourself on social media, you compare yourself to your friends, you worry about if people are judging your body or find you attractive, you compare yourself to old photos where you might have been in a smaller or more toned body. You look a little bit too long in the mirror at your body before you get in the shower. Getting dressed is stressful, as is shopping, because you don't want to have to look at that number on the tag or put on things that don't fit. You weigh yourself or think about weighing yourself because you don't want to gain weight, and you feel guilty when you don't work out. And I'll tell you how I know all of this without even chatting with you directly, but let's get into this. A few years ago, I compared how big my bum was, or how big my chest was, or how flat my stomach was to women around me all the time. I looked at girls' butts in the gym, I looked at girls' breasts at the beach, I looked at people's stomachs as they sat down next to me. I compared the size of jeans that I was shopping for to my friends when we went on a shopping trip together. I looked at people on social media and wondered how they had such perfect photos where their bodies looked so plump, so gorgeous, their skin was so smooth, but I didn't look like that. I was the queen of comparison. And it wasn't just with my body, it was with everything. When I went out to eat, I would compare what I ate at a restaurant to what my friends were eating, evaluating if I had made a healthy or unhealthy choice compared to them, and feeling this strange sense of satisfaction if I had made the healthier choice. It didn't feel good, it made me feel really guilty. When I was in college and I lived with roommates, I would mentally compare how often they went to the gym compared to me, how hard they worked out at the gym versus me doing a lighter or less intense workout, and I would compare how long they spent at the gym compared to me. It was exhausting. It didn't matter if I deemed myself better or worse than them, I still felt so terrible comparing myself. It took so much of my brain power to also be constantly doing this little equation of that comparison, and I would end my days so exhausted and not feeling any more comfortable or confident in my body or how I took care of it. Not surprisingly, I was such a perfectionist, and I was also like this at work. It made me overwork myself all the time, do way more than what was required of me, and never feel satisfied because I wasn't getting paid enough for the amount of work I was doing. But I was always competing with other people and with myself. Luckily, I figured out how to break this habit, and I was able to heal from my bad relationships with food and my body and exercise, heal from my eating disorder that had developed as a result, and break out of the comparison habit. I became a professional body image coach, and not too long into that, I met my client Kelly. When I met Kelly, she reminded me so much of my old self, especially with body checking and comparison. She compared herself not just to other girls in public, but to her friends, to people that she saw in the gym, to people that she followed on social media. She would even show her boyfriend pictures of girls on social media and ask him if she was bigger or smaller than them because she couldn't honestly tell. Every single day she was comparing herself to other people and to herself. She was deeply struggling with this comparison, making her body image much worse, giving her a lot of body dysmorphia, and overall just never allowing her to feel like she was doing enough with her appearance or her physical habits. She never felt like she was working out hard enough, she never felt like she was eating good enough, and it was exhausting for her. She saw each of these problems as separate, but really what I was able to observe as her coach was that these were just smaller manifestations of a bigger problem. Kelly was an expert at harmful comparison and body checking. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the phrase body checking, I believe that a lot of comparison is a type of body checking. And what body checking is measuring or observing or recording what your body looks like and comparing it to how it used to look, making sure that it hasn't changed too much since the last time you checked. It is literally checking on your body to make sure that it is still the same, that nothing drastic has changed. And it's a way to try and feel safe in our bodies. A lot of people do this with weighing themselves every day, trying on a pair of jeans to make sure that they still fit, staring in the mirror for too long and sucking in and trying to pose yourself to make sure that you can still appear skinny to other people, looking at those old photos of when you think that you looked better or different. Comparison is just one of the many ways that we body check to try and feel safe. A lot of the comparison that my clients do is comparing their body to somebody else's, whether it's a best friend, a girl in the gym, someone on the internet, and just trying to figure out if they look like this person or how they vary, how they differ. And they feel so guilty because they don't want to reduce anybody else to what their body looks like, but that's what they're doing to themselves as well. It comes from this place within you that just wants to feel like your body is good enough and therefore that people will love you and accept you and appreciate you, but it doesn't serve you and it actually makes your body image worse, which is why so many of us want to stop the comparison habit. Now, having these habits obviously made Kelly feel terrible as well. That's why she came to me. She was wasting so much energy constantly thinking about her body, worrying that if she skipped a workout or she ate too much, that she would wake up tomorrow and look in the mirror and be completely different, be so much bigger. She was very afraid of gaining weight and she didn't have a realistic perspective of what she actually looked like when she looked in the mirror. Now, comparison gives you this like momentary sense of satisfaction if you think that you look good enough compared to the other person, but overall, it really brings your mood and your body image down. And this is something that Kelly had observed over a lot of time. So to get her out of this habit, get her out of this cycle of comparing herself and having that momentary sense of safety followed by a lot of insecurity, we had to do a couple simple but essential things in our work together. And this was solidified, was so strengthened by her being able to work with me, not on her own in this process. If you're someone that compares yourself, has known for a long time that you struggle with comparison, working with a coach might be the perfect thing for you because you've been aware of the problem, but you haven't been able to change it on your own. It's perfectly normal. A lot of times we just need support and accountability and somebody who's already figured it out to help you do that. But again, the first thing that we did with Kelly was understanding that her comparison was a type of body checking. This realization for her helped her just understand where the bad habit was coming from, which meant that she stopped a lot of negative thoughts that were telling her that she just compares herself to other people because she's shallow or she's insecure or anything else that didn't make her feel good and didn't help her release the habit. She had a concrete explanation for where it was coming from and therefore a way that we could start to deconstruct it. The next essential thing that we had to do, step 2, was shifting Kelly's motivation and perspective on why she ate healthy food and why she moved her body. She didn't have to change her habits, she just had to change her why, that deeper motivation behind these habits, because previously she was using food, whether it was restriction or obsessive healthy eating and movement, never feeling like she could take a rest day, to control her body, to feel like she was safe in that body because she was doing the things that she had to do to make sure that she didn't get any bigger. That's not a good motivator for nourishing your body image or feeling content and like you're doing enough in that habit. So we shifted her motivations from needing to make sure she keeps herself small to wanting to live a long time, to wanting a social outlet because she can meet and see people at the gym, to wanting to give her body the energy it needs through food, through wanting to have memories by being able to be active or to enjoy really good food with people that she loves. Those are way more motivating, way more nourishing, both to her brain and her body, and shifting that perspective was so important for her. Now, a lot of people say things like, just say body positive mantras in the mirror and you'll love your body. It's not so simple to just change your perspective on your body, on movement, on food. So the tools that Kelly and I used, as well as our conversations together, are really what solidified that for her. You need a method and you need accountability if you want to make those shifts. The last thing that we had to do for Kelly to break this habit of comparison is to adjust her negative self-talk. Kelly had a lot of negative self-talk that wasn't just comparison. She was down on herself a lot of times about what she looked like, not just comparing herself to other people, but thinking about how she could be better overall, never feeling like she was attractive enough or strong enough or deserved to be complimented by other people. She had a lot of negative self-talk about who she was overall beyond her appearance as well, and we needed to correct that so that she could release a lot of the comparison automatically. Comparison is a type of negative self-talk, so correcting the negative self-talk overall just opened up so many doors for her to feel more confident, to release a lot of the comparison without even having to do it intentionally, and just appreciate herself and feel confident in both how she looks and who she is automatically. I have a 4-step process that I teach my clients in the beginning of our work together because self-talk is something that doesn't have to be complicated, but it does take practice. I give my clients this formula, which is not just a simple formula step by step, but really understanding where the self-talk comes from so that you're actually able to change it. And then we practice it together week after week because this is just a habit that takes practice to change. When you stop the comparison, you free up so much brain space for you to think and do literally anything else. It is liberating. This habit is exhausting and it's taking so much of your attention, so much of your energy, whether you realize it or not. But when you stop, you gain that mental and physical energy back and you can actually become your healthiest, most confident self for whatever that looks like for you. Not in this idea of what it looks like for other people or what it should look like. You can be comfortable and confident in your body and how you take care of it. You can show up consistently in the gym. You can consistently eat really nutrient-dense, healthy meals out of a place of love for yourself, not a place of not feeling like you're good enough. You find self-trust and this badass boldness that makes you get out of your comfort zone, date, ask for a raise, go on that trip, anything that you feel like you've been held back from because of your lack of confidence. Now, like I said, a huge part of stopping this comparison and finding more confidence in yourself is changing your negative self-talk. So if that's something that you know that you could be stronger at, I broke that 4-step process that I mentioned that I usually only give my clients into a video for you so that you can learn this and start practicing it now. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it does need to be intentional. But it is something that needs its own video, so I'll make sure that I put that here. And as always, if you want to break free from these habits and you want to do the work with me that you need to do to find confidence in your body and clarity and consistency in your healthy habits, my email is always in the description of the video, and you can always message me on Instagram, which is also linked on my page. Message me, get started, and we'll talk about how to make coaching an option for you so that we can find your most confident dream self. I'll see you soon.